I am Jeppe Kirk Bonde, the most copied popular investor on eToro.com. Ask me anything, including about investments. Hey fellow redditors, Index 200B, I have achieved an average annual return of 33% per year since I started investing on eToro in 2013. Because of my high returns, more than 80,000 people follow my trades, and almost 5,000 people automatically copy every one of my trades on eToro. Index 200B, 95% of my portfolio is in stocks. My most successful investments include Amazon, Deutsche Bank, Kronos, Illumina, Nvidia, oil, and Bitcoin. Currently, my largest positions are in Facebook, LRL, and Games Workshop. My strategy is based on long-term fundamentals. I analyze global macro trends, industry and country growth rates and megatrends, and compare companies on their strategy, management, financial statements, suppliers, etc. I then invest in companies I think are unfairly valued. I generally do not invest more than 10% of my portfolio in a single asset, and diversify across geographies, industries and value chain stages to reduce my total portfolio risk. Index 200B, ask me anything. Index 200B, proof LinkedIn profile eToro.com profile.
Silverport says, what suggestions do you have for novice investors? I have 10k to invest but not really sure where to put that money. Stocks, bonds?
Jeppe Kirk Bonde replies, focus on long-term investments in property, stocks, and bonds. Avoid day trading and chart astrology. Diversify across different geographies, industries, and value chain stages to reduce your risk. You can do this with ETFs or by selecting different stocks yourself. This is the best way to invest for more than 90% of people. Also consider the below. Avoid leverage and shorting as it is too expensive and fees. Use eToro, Saxo Bank, Robinhood, Interactive Brokers, or similar instead of expensive regular banks. If you do not think you can be better or have the time to be better than the average weighted market participant, accept average market returns as a goal. If you have any loans with interest rate higher than 5%, pay those off before you start investing.
Marco Augusto says, hi Jeppe, I am coping you at eToro. Now I am losing minus $32 with you. I know that March was a negative month. Do you think is better to close and open again or is better to leave like it is? Thanks Marco.
Jeppe Kirk Bonde replies, you do not need to close it and open again. If you do, you will pay the spread again on some of the positions. Most of the portfolio is in stocks now, which have 0% fees though, so for them you can close and open as many times as you want without it costing anything. JIGNESH17 says, hi Jeppe, I have almost 000 investment in you and eToro. Should I keep adding funds on monthly basis, or you expect the market to go down? Jeppe Kirk Bonde replies, as we know from history, the markets can double or halve in any given year. My base case scenario is that the markets on average will increase by 4% over the next 12 months. Investments in the most undervalued companies can of course yield much more. I think it is very wise to set aside an amount each month to invest.
3 Griff says, why Games Workshop? I figured they were really struggling from what I've seen going past their stores and the lack of interest I've heard about them.
Jeppe Kirk Bonde replies, that is not the case. They were struggling under CEO Tim Kirby. Now under Kevin Roundtree, they are flourishing. GW used to not do any advertising, they had wrecked the old world, etc. So many things wrong. Now they are advertising, innovating, licensing their brand out to many new great developers, and they are as a result significantly growing revenues, profits, and customer love. The one thing I really need to see from GW now is a way to profit off of 3D printing. If you follow the 3D printing subreddits, you can see that people are getting better and better at making their own models. 2 years ago, all 3D printed miniatures looked horrible, but they are a lot better today. If GW doesn't embrace this and make it part of their business, they will eventually start losing out significantly to home-printed models. WhatUdo20 says, "Hello Jep, I started copying you since last year's fourth quarter. I experienced the roller coaster ride copying you. It was really a tough ride for a newbie investor like me. I am planning to diversify the copy trading and personal trading for my own growth. I am a long-term trader as far as I know, and my target investments are the gaming industry, EA, ATVI, SNE, NTDOY and NVDA. Do you think if I invest to them now, I will have a good position in the long run?" Thank you. Jeppe Kirk Bonde replies, "Yes, it is a roller coaster. Your stock picks seem fine. Consider a bit of diversification. It is fine to have a lot of tech, gaming, but you should probably consider at least keeping it below 30% of your portfolio, to reduce your overall risk."
Blao says, "What's your advice on this latest drop in crypto? Time to buy?"
Jeppe Kirk Bonde replies, "I am interested in Bitcoin as a potential future global private currency that can be used for easy, secure, cheap payments, either through a new transaction system or possibly something a la Lightning Network. I am not interested in investing in blockchain projects in general otherwise, as I do not believe it is a good technology. My valuation of Bitcoin is $8,100 USD, which means I think it is undervalued at the current price of $7,600. I last bought more Bitcoin at $4,400 USD, and sold again at $7,900 USD. I will not buy more currently, as I don't think it is undervalued by enough compared to other assets I can invest in." WhatUdo20 says, "What's your valuation to IAmA?" Jeppe Kirk Bonde replies, $50 billion USD enterprise value. Undervalued by over 50%. I generally do not have many Chinese stocks, which has been good in the past year. IAmA is one of the few that I do have. IAmA was a growing, successful, but essentially boring smartphone company. They now have a new strategy and have taken bold steps already to prove they are serious. They are priced as a smartphone company, but may soon be more like a high-growth IoT device company. Last year IAmA doubled their revenue within new IoT device categories, and it now makes up more than 30% of their revenue. With IAmA, customers can pick up any of their products and feel confident they are buying something good and cheap. This is nice, whether it's for a Mi drone or the new smart washing machine launched this Christmas. They took a dive along many other Chinese companies following fears over US-China trade relations, bad quarterly results, and can deteriorate further based on economic and political factors in China. In the long term, they may become a significant player in several interesting high-profit IoT device markets worldwide and create great shareholder value based on that."
Isengray says, "What evidence do you have to support your claim that your average annual return is 33% per year since you started in 2013? What has it been for the past 2 years? I see several PPL comments say they are in the red since following you for a year or two."
Jeppe Kirk Bonde replies, "All the numbers are publicly available for anyone to see here. https://www.etoro.com/people/JEPPEKIRKBONDE/stats. In the past 24 months my total return has been 29%, and my average annual return in the 2 years thus been 13.7% when taking compounding into account. If you copied right before the general market decline in 18-Q4, you would still be slightly in red now, despite the strong returns in 19-Q1. Anyone who has copied for many years are in green. Anyone who has started to copy within the past 2 years will be in green or red now, depending on exactly when they copied, and at what specific times they have added funds to increase their investment." WhatUdo20 says, "You sell all your Kronos in your portfolio. Are you planning to invest back in the company?" Jeppe Kirk Bonde replies, "Not at the moment, but if the growth continues without the price increasing correspondingly, or the price falls significantly enough, I would consider it."
iFlux says, "Any tips for beginner investors? Currently have £5 saved and wanting to get into longer term investment and short high returns as my savings increase. Are there any overall trends which you see as guaranteed price growth?
Jeppe Kirk Bonde replies, see my top comment. In addition, nothing is guaranteed. I think demographic trends such as aging are very likely to continue, and companies that benefit from that get that as free growth. I think cannabis, gaming, Instagramification, and other trends are also very interesting, but not guaranteed. When you have analyzed some trends that are likely to continue accelerate, you still have to consider to what extent that is already built into the price of the stocks. The Taco Thief says, hi Jeppe, in another response you mentioned that you value Bitcoin at 100. I'm interested in how you come up with a valuation for cryptos. As a novice, I'm lost trying to assign a value to something that's priced so largely on speculation rather than on its usefulness as a financial device. Thanks for the IAmA. Jeppe Kirk Bonde replies, I continuously analyze changes in adoption, technology, regulation, media coverage, general sentiment, comments from key people and transaction volumes. I then have an Excel file with scenarios for the future that each use a combination of things that may happen. Bitcoin becomes an investment safe haven like gold, or Bitcoin becomes a leading global currency like the USD, etc. Bitcoin becomes worthless as another crypto outcompetes it, etc. Bitcoin becomes a fringe currency, nostalgia item, etc. Each occurrence can happen in 10 years with some small likelihood. In 30 years, 50 years etc. There will in total be max 21 million bitcoins, and the total value of all money today is roughly 85 trillion USD. So if Bitcoin gets a market share 3% of the total value of all money in e.g. 40 years, and it is discounted at a rate of e.g. 10%, this gives a certain value for Bitcoin today. I then assign percentages for how likely I think each scenario is, and then the overall weighted average gives me my valuation.
Oaf says, can you give an example or two on how Nicholas Nassim Taleb has influenced your strategy?
Jeppe Kirk Bonde replies, avoiding survivorship bias, understanding the winner-takes-all approach early on for two-sided online market platforms due to the need for critical mass. Winner-takes-all markets are frequent in extremism. This is obvious to everyone today, but was not obvious when I first invested in these companies. Understanding that a company that has only experienced success is not as robust as one that has been through some hard times. Having overcome hard times and tough challenges is a strong indication that you can succeed. When looking at two companies, one that has only had a smooth ride without problems versus one that has had a bumpy ride and overcome challenges, I will prefer the latter, while many other investors prefer the former. Focusing on the actual big potential boosters and risks to the economy instead of the small unimportant items that drive the news cycle. Understanding that there is more knowledge to be gained between humans than in humans. What you think and say is less smart than what I can understand by analyzing your actions. And in many more ways. I have read all his books and attended his seminar in London. I read The Black Swan 4 times. And Taleb is my favorite author.
MS Nutix says that's on Uber.
Jeppe Kirk Bonde replies, it is difficult to build a two-sided market. It is easier to make a website that links one to many than it is to make one that links many to many. Uber is doing the difficult and expensive work of linking many drivers to many riders in a difficult regulatory environment. Once a company has critical mass in such a market, however, and is protected by difficult regulations that require high fixed costs to manage, they can increase profitability significantly. Once self-driving cars become mainstream, however, the market changes from two-sided to one-sided. Tesla or another company will then be able to easily make an app and offer rides to all consumers and drive down the profitability of the industry or just outcompete Uber. Within the markets for takeaway, food, and goods delivery, however, Uber has a chance to build something really strong. Amazon is acting on this too late, and has to fight hard now to not let some delivery markets slip into the hands of Uber. Unfortunately for Uber, they are already massively unprofitable in their core market, and will find it hard to manage the negative cash flow of fighting on both fronts. That said, the revenue growth continues to be impressive, losses are getting smaller, and the biggest brunt of regulation and driver unionization seems to be behind them, and I do not think Lyft, Van and others will find it easy to catch up. If self-driving gets pushed further out into the future or Uber manages to show a way they can be part of that change, or if Uber grows strongly in both people, takeaway, and goods delivery, without the price increasing correspondingly, I will consider investing.
Anotherone 7707 says for someone with less than 0.0000 to invest, how would you recommend we enter the market? Crypto, penny stocks, others?
Jeppe Kirk Bonde replies 0.000 is a fine amount to invest. If you know you will need the cash within a few years, it is safest to invest in bonds. If you can leave the money invested for many years, ideally decades, then it is likely wisest to put most of it into stocks. You can have a bit in crypto and penny stocks as well, but you may want to keep that below 10% of the total portfolio. You should ensure you have stocks from different countries and regions, and from different industries and stages of the value chain, to reduce your risk through diversification. You must understand that stocks can double or halve in any given year, but on average over a long period of time have historically averaged out to 7% per year. So it will be a bumpy ride that can end up in a good long-term average. Bonds are a smooth ride to a poor long-term result. For platforms, eToro is best and cheapest. If you live in the US, consider Robinhood. Saxo Bank is also good, but expensive. Interactive Brokers is reasonably priced, but have a poorly designed website and app and generally not user-friendly in their operations. In some countries there are other platforms also worth considering. In general, regular banks have very high fees and will invest your money in a high-risk, low expected return fashion and are therefore in my opinion not the best way. Some banks will e.g. invest all your money in blue-chip American companies and U.S. treasuries and call that sensible risk management.
Professional Dragon says hi Jep, you have been doing very well on eToro as an investor for several years. Congratulations for your excellent performance. I also copy you there for some time. Smiling face. My questions. 1. What do you think are the pros cons of eToro as an online broker? 2. Which other brokers trading platforms do you use? What are the pros cons of these 3? Which market info websites do you use for investing? For example, finviz.com, tradingview.com and marketwatch.com are relatively popular market info sites. I personally use them, but there are hundreds of others too, and all of them offer a bit different features. Which ones do you recommend? Thanks in advance, and have a great day at it. Clarification.
Jeppe Kirk Bonde replies, when I started investing, I made an Excel file to compare the different platforms and ended up picking eToro. At the end I also considered Interactive Brokers and Saxo Bank. Today eToro is best in terms of app design, web design, has a wide instrument availability, and has the lowest prices for what I trade, incl. the 0% fees on stocks. Interactive Brokers is reasonable in price, but the website and app are poorly designed and they do not operate in a customer-friendly manner in general. Saxo Bank has a good app and site, and strong product availability as well, but are more expensive. If you live in the US, you can also consider Robinhood. In general, all these are much better than your regular bank, that will tend to have much higher prices, worse app and site, etc. and X200B. I think the sites you mention are great. I wish Finviz would add global stocks, and not just US. I also use Morningstar, Reuters, Yahoo Finance, TradingEconomics.com, the databases of the WTO, IMF, etc. websites of the large investment banks and asset management funds, and consulting firms, and market research firms. Companies and their suppliers and competitors will also each disclose good information in their quarterly filings that when added together gives a good view of the industry and insights into each company, in addition to the financial statements which are also obviously very important. There are also many database websites I have just used once or twice for a specific analysis. In general, any website that advertises itself as having good APIs for financial, business or economics data, I will check out, create a profile, get a free trial, etc. and see if I can learn anything from that.
Scanner says I have an account in eToro and want to cash out. How do I do that?
Jeppe Kirk Bonde replies, click to close all your positions first. Once all markets have been open, all your positions will be closed. The Tokyo Stock Exchange has already closed for the weekend. You can see market opening hours here, https://www.stockmarketclock.com/exchanges/jpx/trading-hours. Once you have closed all your positions, click Withdraw Funds. You can then choose to withdraw all your funds, and have them sent to your normal bank account or what you prefer. Last time I withdrew some money, I received it instantly, but depending on your country, bank etc., I expect it could take a few business days before you receive it back.
Panthers 202 says, does having a large group of people following your investments change your strategies at all?
Jeppe Kirk Bonde replies, many of my friends and family members copy me as well. I invest my money and their money in the way I expect can generate the best return us all. Having many followers and copiers has enabled me to travel to many conferences, meet other top investors, leaders, entrepreneurs etc. and get ideas for stocks from many different people. Some of the ideas I have gotten from people have led to investments in one way or the other. E.g., someone suggests I buy a certain stock. After a lot of research, I end up not buying that stock, but maybe I invest in one of their suppliers or competitors instead.
Mike Lidar says, hey, I am your copier on eToro. I have seen you have some kind of long-term strategy. What strategies are the safest to trade stocks in your opinion? I am interested in swing trading, but I do not know if the marbles claimed by some in blogs, YouTube, etc. are real and plausible. Also, then what are your criteria to pick stocks and how do you structure your strategy? Best.
Jeppe Kirk Bonde replies, most advice on YouTube and the web in general regarding swing trading, day trading, anything related to technical analysis, FX trading or options is bogus or downright scams. For a long-term strategy, e.g. 5 years and more, it is good to invest in stocks and property. In any given period, they may swing widely in value, but in the long run it has historically averaged out to strong long-term returns. There has never been a period of more than 7 years where the stock markets weren't overall up.to pick stocks better than the weighted average of the market. You must have insights that the majority does not. This can e.g. be from carefully analyzing a company, its industry, its strategy, financial statements, technology and so forth, to the extent that you could advise their management on how they should run their company. If you are a lead user of a product, or know someone who is, or you are generally ahead of the curve, a trendsetter, not a trend follower, etc., then you may also be able to add knowledge to the market, and be rewarded for it by higher than average returns. Finally, for a stock portfolio, it is important to diversify between different countries, industries and value chain stages to reduce your risk.
Artistic department says he have the ritual to donate money before any financial move. So far it has worked, and the more I donate the more I obtain. Am I an insane man seeing coincidences, or, in your financial experience, charity ends up being rewarded?
Jeppe Kirk Bonde replies, it is a common cognitive bias to see more patterns in data than there actually is. I expect what you have seen is due to randomness, and not correlation. There are many other such cognitive biases. Once you know them, you can't help but see people make mistakes based on them all the time. https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/list/cognitive/biases.
Don Anthonian 3117 says, how do you generally feel about people copying off your success? I get the general idea of eToro, but do you get a cut of money from each person that copies you?
Jeppe Kirk Bonde replies, it doesn't cost anything extra to copy other people. Whether you want to make trades yourself, or just copy someone, the fees will be the same. Popular investors such as me receive a fixed fee and a variable fee based on assets under management from eToro each month. CARLOSDICI12 says hello. My GF has been copying you since the end of 2017, she is in red. I started to copy you in March and I am in red. I know that the invention is in the long term, but tell me, should I relax and still invest in copy of you? Jeppe Kirk Bonde replies, I suggest to hold, and continue to increase investments over time. Are you both copying open trades?